Hi, everybody. I'm Mr. Wildcat, and today we are going to try a new experiment. Okay? Now, basically, this idea. It comes from a staple that David Letterman had used on his show throughout his whole time on late night television. Okay? So, for those of you, for those of you who do not know Letterman, you should know him. But for those who don't, David Letterman was born in 1947. He is an American television host, comedian, writer, and producer. Okay, he started off in the late 70s, 77, 78, at, as a guest on the Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. It would make a couple of appearances throughout the 70s, and he even got the guest host on Johnny Carson's Tonight Show, and he made such a huge impression from the NBC execs that they wind up giving him a daytime talk show in 1980 at the expense of three long running NBC game shows at the time. But unfortunately, it did not, even though it was critically appraised, the talk show did not have, there was no room for it on the daytime lineup. Okay. Audiences were not too impressed with it. So Letterman was given a second chance in February of 82 when they decided to give Letterman a late night show that would air immediately after Johnny Carson's Tonight Show at 12:35 in the morning, called Late Night with David Letterman. Late Night with David Letterman would air on the show until 1993. Back in the early 90s, when around 1991, Johnny Carson announced he was going to be retiring from the Tonight Show effective May of 1992, and NBC had to figure out who they were going to hire to replace Letterman. Oh, who they were going to hire to replace Carson. David Letterman was one of the finalists for the job. Another person was Jay Leno, who had been a frequent guest host on Johnny Carson's Tonight Show, especially after Joan Rivers got the ban after she accepted a gig that wound up airing completely head to head against Carson that ultimately failed. But at the end of the day, Jay Leno wound up getting the job, and a lot of people, including Carson, felt that Letterman should have gotten it. So in 1993, CBS decided to take a with Jay Leno getting off to a bad start. CBS decided to cash in on the opportunity by offering David Letterman a late night talk show over on their network that would air. It would basically move Letterman to 11:30, and it would go directly head to head against Jay Leno and his Tonight Show, and they would basically host the show out of the old Ed Sullivan Theater, which he accepted, and he wound up hosting. And after he left NBC in 1993, he went over to CBS, hosted the Late Show from 1993 through 2015. One of the signatures on the show was his top 10 lists. Okay, so basically, the first list came out in September 18th, 1985, titled "The Top 10 Words That Almost Rhyme with Peas." Okay, skit was put together by Steve O'Donnell, who was the head writer at the time for the NBC late night show. According to O'Donnell, the top 10 was almost simultaneously inspiration arriving from the staffers, and it was basically prompted by the ridiculous eligible bachelor lists in a local New York paper that included 84-year-old Bill Polly. Why we can put such nonsense together ourselves, he claims. So they decided to do it, and it turned out to be such a hilarious skit that David Letterman decided to use it throughout the remainder of his time on late night TV. Now, fortunately, it did hit a little bit of a snag when the late night went to when Letterman moved from NBC to CBS. NBC claimed that the top 10 was part of their property when it really wasn't, but they wound up making a compromise that basically required Letterman to rename it the Late Show Top 10. Okay? So, with that ado, Here is Mr. Wildcat's first ever top 10 list. Drum roll. All right. So our top 10. So my top 10 is going to be in kind of the same format of David Letterman's 10 things that pertain to a specific theme. Today's theme is Mr. Wildcat's top 10 quotes from the 1994 comedy Dumb and Dumber, starring Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels. Now, you recently saw Mr. Wildcat review Dumb and Dumber a couple weeks ago on his YouTube channel. Unfortunately, it turned into a 3-hour snooze fest, but of course, I was having a lot of fun with it. You can tell I was having a lot of fun when I was reciting the film line for line, and analyzing everything in the process. Okay? Well, this is not going to be another one of those 3-hour snooze fests. We decided to cram Dumb and Dumber into a list of 10 individual quotes. Now, of course, there is a shitload of quotes that have come out of the film. So if you have a favorite quote that is not on this list, don't take it personally, okay? Everybody is right to their own opinion, okay? So to give you guys for those of you who did not see the review and have never heard of Dumb and Dumber before, I'll give you a brief, very brief summary. It's a 1994 American buddy comedy film, uh, written and directed by the Farrelly brothers, starring Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels. Jim Carrey plays Lloyd Christmas, and Jeff Daniels plays Harry Dunn. They are two dumb. They are two dumb but well-meaning friends from Providence, Rhode Island, who set out on a cross-country trip to Aspen, Colorado, to return a briefcase full of money to its owner, thinking that it was abandoned as a mistake, though it was actually left as a ransom. Okay. So Lloyd was basically working as a limo driver, taking a lady named Mary Swanson to the airport. And as he was driving away, he noticed that Mary had left a briefcase in the airport terminal. And not knowing that it was intentionally left as a ransom, he fully intended on making sure that that briefcase made it back to Mary, under the assumption that it was a piece of luggage that was accidentally left behind. Okay? So the film was released December 16th, 1994 on a $17 million budget and wound up grossing $247 million worldwide at the box office, and has developed a cult following in the years after its release. And it's also regarded as one of the best comedies of the 1990s. Okay? So with that ado, okay, you're going to see Mr. Wildcat reciting his 10 most favorite quotes to come out of Dumb and Dumber. Okay? We're only doing the original film. It's the only one that Mr. Wildcat actually liked. And, okay, even though Dumb and Dumber 2 from 2014, I believe, it's actually watchable considering the fact that they actually got Jeff Daniels and Jim Carrey to come back and do it. But unfortunately, it was way too late. All right? And the storyline was not as good as the first, but it is definitely worth take a look at if you have not seen it. Okay. So here we go. Drum roll, please. All right. Number 10. Hey, I guess they're right. Senior citizens, although slow and dangerous behind the wheel, can still serve a purpose. I'll be right back. Don't you go dying on me. Number 9. Wait a minute. Wait. She must have meant 10 o'clock at night. Why would she have you meet her at a bar at 10 o'clock in the morning? I was figuring she was a raging alcoholic. 10 in the morning. Number 8. Where's the booze? I got robbed by a sweet old lady on a motorized cart. I didn't even see it coming. Number 7. Hold the plane! Sir, you can't go in there. It's okay. I'm a limo driver. Whoa! Fell off the jetway again. So you got fired again, huh? Oh yeah. They always make it. They always freak out when you leave the scene of an accident. All right. Number 6. You know why I like you, Harry? 'Cause you're a regular guy. Yeah. That's why I want you to stay regular. 1/2 teaspoon for fast, effective relief. Turbo wax. I hope you're not using the toilet. It's broken. Oh shit. Number 5. Come on, Joe. Let me do them. Let me do both of them. You wouldn't have to worry about it. Just shut up. Now, we don't know who the hell they are. You don't kill people you don't know. That's a rule. I want you to get up here, lie down in the front seat. When they pick me up, you follow us. You got that? Hey, here they come. Stay down, stay down. Number 4. No way. Oh, that's great. We landed on the moon. Number 3. Mary? I desperately want to make love to a schoolboy. Number 2. You mean not good like 1 out of 100? I would say more like 1 out of 1,000,000. So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah! I read you. And the number 1 quote from Dumb and Dumber. Petey, you sold my dead bird to a blind kid? Lloyd, Petey didn't even have a head. Harry, I took care of it. Holy shit. Now, I know there's quotes out there. I know many of you guys are going to disagree with this list, okay? Some quotes should have been higher. Some quotes should have been lower. Some quotes should... You cut some of my quotes. Some quotes were left out. Some quotes should never have been on there. So, I want to hear from you guys. Is there a particular quote from Dumb and Dumber that I left out that I should have included? Is there a particular quote that should have been left out? What is your idea of a favorite quote from Dumb and Dumber? Let me know in the comment section. Also, more top 10 lists coming on down the road. If you have a particular suggestion of a particular top 10 that you would like Mr. Wildcat to review, let me know in the comment section below, and if it appeals enough to me, then I will consider it. Okay? Till the next time we meet, Mr. Wildcat, signing off with the most annoying sound in the world.